Today, we are continuing the chapter Strategies of Enhancement of Food Production, chapter 9 in class 12. We are continuing the chapter with beekeeping. Now, beekeeping is called apiculture. Actually, what is beekeeping? Beekeeping is the process of rearing and breeding of bees in order for the production of honey and bee wax. Honey and bee wax are the most important products of beekeeping. Honey and bee wax contain a lot of nutrients and rich in medicinal value, which are used as our indigenous medicine. Honey and bee wax are used for making various products of medicines, cosmetics, then many other items which are very costlier. So mainly honey and bee wax are used for making indigenous medicines like Ayurvedic medicines. Okay. Now, what are the main species of bees? In India, we use Apis indica is the most important breed or species of bees. Apis mellifera and Apis gerardiana, many species of bees are available, but most importantly, Apis indica is the species. Clear? Now we are coming to what are the different precautions and the knowledge that a beekeeper should know before starting the beekeeping. First of all, knowledge and the nature of habits of these bees. Knowledge and nature of the habits of bees. That is the first one. Second, selection of suitable location. Selection of suitable location. This area includes orchards, flowering plants, and many fruiting trees or orchards, flowering plants. All this provide sufficient bee pastures. Bee pastures means the food for bees. So we can understand that. Second one is selection of suitable location of for maintaining the beehive so that the bees get sufficient food patches. Third one is catching and hiving of swarms in different season. In different season, the catching and hiving of swarms are different. Okay, for example, in winter season, one method, then summer season and rainy season, there are different methods of handling and collection of the honey. So another advantage that is called a natural advantage and the biological general advantage is that keeping the beehive helps in pollination and improve the honey yield. Pollination, they are the biological pollinators, the most important biological pollinators. So there are 5 points. First one, we have to understand the species of bees. In India, we use Apis indica and Apis mellifera. MELLIFERA. Okay. So what are the various steps that a beekeeper must know? First of all, knowledge of nature and habits of bees. Second, selectable suitable location for keeping the beehive in order to get the bee pastures sufficiently. Okay. Now third one, catching and hiving of swarms in different seasons, and fourth one, handling and collection of honeys in different seasons. The general biological adaptation or help for the beekeeping is they improve the pollination and also improve the honey yield. Now the next aspect of the animal husbandry, we are studying about animal husbandry. We have already studied dairy farm management, then poultry farm management, then we have already studied beekeeping now. Now fisheries, another one. Fisheries is a collection of process including catching, processing and selling of fish. Catching, collection, catching and processing of fishes, shellfishes and many other marine or aquatic animals. So what is fisheries? It is the process of catching, processing, selling, catching, processing and selling of fishes, shellfishes and various aquatic animals that together form the fisheries. There are two aspects of fisheries: pisciculture and apiculture. This includes the farming of the fish, farming of the fish and catching of the fish in inland and open seas. Okay, so pisciculture and apiculture. Blue revolution is related to the increased production of the fisheries. Okay, increased production of fishes. So what is fishery and what are the various aspects of it? Okay, fisheries, the process of catching, processing and selling fish, shellfishes and various aquatic organisms. Pisciculture and aquaculture include farming of the fishes as well as catching of the fishes from open water body. There are different types of fishes: freshwater fishes and marine fishes. You know, freshwater fishes, katla, rohu, golden fish, many are there. But marine fishes are economically very important. They are sardine, mackerel, pomfret. Okay, there are many groups of such marine fishes. Anyhow, blue revolution indicate the increased production of fishes. Now, so that's all about what we call animal husbandry. Now we are coming to the plant breeding and plant world. Okay, so agriculture include not only the animal husbandry but also nurturing and plant breeding. Okay, nurturing of the plants as well as plant breeding. So what is green revolution? Green revolution is the increased agricultural yield, particularly rice, wheat and maize. This happened during the period of 1960 to 2000. In India, 1960 to 2000 is the period of green revolution, and this green revolution, father of green revolution in our country is M.S. Swaminathan. And father of green revolution in the world is Norman E. Borlaug. Norman E. Borlaug is the father of green revolution in the world. Now what is the definition? You know that purposeful manipulation of plant species in order to create desired plant types better suitable for cultivation, better yield and disease resistance. So green revolution definition is very important. We have already studied about the green revolution. Now it is the plant breeding. So what is plant breeding? Plant breeding is the purposeful manipulation of plant species. Plant breeding is the purposeful manipulation of plant species in order to create desired plant types better suitable for cultivation, better yield and disease resistance. So about the green revolution, we have studied 5 points. First one, green revolution is the increased production of particularly 3 plant species or plants or crops such as rice, wheat and maize. It happened during the period of 1960 to 2000. M.S. Swaminathan is known as the father of green revolution in India. At the same time, Norman E. Borlaug is the father of green revolution in the world. How was it possible to develop this green revolution in 1960s? Because of introduction of various semi-dwarf varieties of wheat, maize and rice. Semi-dwarf varieties of wheat, maize and rice. For example, we can say Kalyan Sona and Sonaliga. Kalyan Sona and Sonaliga are 2 wheat varieties. You can see Kalyan Sona Sonalika. Kalyan Sona and Sonalika are the two important wheat varieties, semi-dark wheat varieties, which were able to complete the life cycle and get the yield in 3 to 4 months. There are many other, for example, IR8, that is another. Then Taichung native one rice, Taichung, CHUNG, Taichung native one. Okay, this is also a rice variety. So rice variety is IR8, Taichung native one. The wheat variety is Kalyan Sona, Sonalika. Like that, many semi-dark varieties of wheat is introduced into our country, and we propagated it. We multiplied and bred it. So Green Revolution, then plant breeding, and what are the 2-3 examples of wheat and rice varieties, semi-dark rice varieties that established and multiplied during this time and increased the production or yield. Now, for plant breeding, there are many steps. Plant breeding has many steps. A plant breeder should be very vigilant about these steps. First of all, collection of variability. A plant breeder should collect all possible wild varieties and species of a particular plant breed. Before doing the plant breeding, a plant breeder should collect all the wild varieties of the crops of that species which he is going to breed. Okay? So that is the meaning of collection of or selection of variability. Collection or selection of variability. During this collection of variability, he collected all possible genes and alleles of a particular trait. By collecting the plant species, he is collecting the genes or alleles for a particular trait or character. That's what is called the germplasm collection. So what is germplasm collection? Germplasm collection includes the collection of germplasm collection. So what is germplasm collection? Germplasm collection is the collection of all possible alleles or genes of a particular trait or character. That is called the germplasm collection. So collection of variability also include germplasm collection. So collecting all the possible varieties of species of a particular trait, that is called the collection of variability. The second one, after collecting the species or the plants, we have to evaluate and select the parents for breeding. We have to first we have to evaluate and select the parents from the collected specimens or collected species. We have to evaluate and select the parents for hybridization. Now, third step, the selected parents with the desirable characteristics. What are the desirable characteristics that we look into the parents? Particularly higher yield. Higher yield is one such desirable character. Second one is what we call the quality of nutrients. Quality of nutrients. Third one, adaptability to the varying conditions like salinity, water stress, etc. Drought, etc. So adaptation or tolerance to various environmental stresses. Adaptation or tolerance to various environmental stresses such as salinity, then drought, and even disease resistance. All these are the varying, salient characters or the desirable characters that the plant breeder look into, or plant breeder must always ensure that the parents selected would have. Okay. Now, after crossing of these parents with desirable characteristics, the hybrids formed after this hybridization would be tested, and release this after testing he has to select the plants or hybrids with this desirable combination of characters of the parents. Desirable combination of characters of the parents. We call such hybrids with a desirable combination of parental characters or superior to the parents in terms of the characteristics we call superior recombinance. So what is the meaning of superior recombinance? The hybrids formed have a superior desirable characteristics over the parents. That is called superior recombinance. Right? Now after having ensured that the hybrids are superior recombinants, we have to multiply, no? We have to test it, we have to release, and the commercialization of these hybrids as a new cultivar. Cultivar means the plant breed that is going to establish or going to cultivate across the country or world. Such a new variety, new hybrids are called new cultivars. So these are the 5 steps: collection of variability, then evaluation and selection of parents, cross hybridization among the selected parents, selection and testing of the superior recombinants, testing, releasing, and the commercialization of new cultivars. These are the main aspects of plant breeding. Okay, children, thank you.